Hi everybody, it's Kevin Esty. Welcome to our Craft Day in a Box, January box. I'm going to be doing the beautiful Bouquet stamped card, You Make Me Happy, using lots of the stamps from the Pretty Perennial stamp set. We're going to use a bunch of them. Um, and we're going to use quite a bright color palette. If you don't have all of these colors, that's okay. You use what you have that's as close as possible. The only two colors that are fairly important, just because the tags are provided to you in those colors, is the Melon Mambo and the Bermuda Bay. But you use anything that goes with those, and if you have to stamp your sentiment in black, or if you had to stamp it in a slightly different red or blue, as long as it coordinates with those colors, you'll be okay. And we're going to use a stepping technique with this stamping. Might be something that you've done before, might be something that's new to you, but I'm going to show you how to stamp out your own patterned paper. Basically, you could do this on a larger sheet of paper if you wanted. Make your own designer series paper without backing yourself into a corner and ending up with a spot where you can't fit something. So the other colors I'm using, besides Melon Mambo, Bermuda Bay, I've got crushed curry. I added in a little bit of pumpkin pie just to give an orange center to my crushed curry flowers. And then for the leaves, we're doing them in two-tone, pear pizzazz and old olive. But if you only had one green color, let's say you only had old olive, you could stamp the outline part of the leaves and stamp off once to lighten the old olive to give you the background color. So you don't have to have two colors of green. That's just the colors that I had on hand and decided to pick. Okay, I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat because this is a photopolymer stamp set and you get crisper stamped images when you use your stamping mat. I've got the large flower, the medium flower, the little berries, and I've got the little stems that go with the berries. I'll show you here on the stamp set. So this flower, the berries, and the little stems that goes with the berries. And those are the ones that I'm concerned with now. We'll go back and we'll fill in the leaves and things where we can. And so to keep this organized so that I can do this all in one step, I just want to keep this in camera view so we can see. I'm going to line up my ink pads with the stamps, because I'm going to do this all together at one time. So I've got my Melon Mambo, and I've got my large flower that goes with that. I've got my Bermuda Bay, which goes with the little berries. And I've got my crushed curry that goes with the second flower. And I'm going to put my Memento Black up here with the little stems. Okay. Now in your packet, you're going to find an envelope that has the thick Whisper White. It's not Whisper White anymore. This is actually Whisper White, but it's soon to be replaced by Basic White cardstock. But it's the thick, and you're going to find the other pieces for the tags and whatnot in there. We don't need those right now. We're just going to work with this base. We're going to keep it flat. We're not going to fold it. But I am going to get just a scrap of paper, and I'm going to line it. Actually, I want to turn it this way. I'm going to line it up right with my fold line, because I want some of my flowers to go off the edge, and I don't want them to appear on the back of the card. So this is just to mask off the edge. Okay, and then I'm going to start with, I'll start with my large flower. Why not? And just going to ink that up nice. This is the first time I've used my stamp set. I don't want to get it too wet because there's nice texture to this. You know what? I want to put a piece of paper behind that too, because I can see I'm gonna go off the edge, and I'm gonna stamp all over my mat and make a mess. So I'm gonna put a flower in the corner. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to leave that flower, and I'm going to go on to my next one. So maybe I want to do some berries. And I want my berries here. Okay. And then I want a yellow flower. And so I'll do yellow flower. And I don't want to go too tight because I want to leave some room to get some leaves in there later. That was really, really juicy. That filled that in far too dark. So I'll be careful not to do that again next time. And I think I'll go back to my berries over here, like that. There we go. Maybe like this. That was still juicy. Boy, I'm just barely touching my ink pad. Getting a lot of ink. And maybe one down here. Really juicy. Oh well. Okay, I want a yellow flower here. And do another one. No, I'm going to do berries in there. Yeah, I'm going to switch and do berries in there like that. Look at my stems. My stems go that way. My stems go this way. Okay. Now I can shift this way a little bit. As long as I'm on the line, it doesn't matter. Okay. And a yellow flower. Down here. Some more berries here. And maybe some more berries down here. And maybe just the end of a yellow flower there. And just the edge of a pink one there. Okay, beautiful. So got all that. So now I don't need these things anymore because everything else is going to be on the card. Oh, except for these ones that are going off the edge here. Look, I spoke too soon. And the ones that are going to go off the edge here. So I'll put that back down. And I want my little stems. And you kind of, there's a little gap in between where there's two little ones that sneak in. Once I get this stamped, you'll see it here. They sneak in between the berries. And that's more or less what you're using to line up, is those two little ones. You just put them in the space in between and make sure the other ones are just touching a berry. There we are. And it doesn't have to be exact. It's close, but you know. There we go. Left just enough room there on that one to make it look like it went in behind. There we go. Look, I keep wanting to go up here and put that in my magenta ink pad. I'm going to have to close that up to get it out of here. I'm going to have a mess. There. Okay. Then I'm done with the yellow. I'm done with the blue. I'm going to stop before I put my magenta away and go to my packet and get the little piece of, I may as well get this strip out too. There's two pieces of white in there. And from the stamp set, I want the great big happy. That's going to go on this piece, and we're going to cut that out. And the You Make Me. You Make Me, which is right above the happy. There we are. So You Make Me Happy. Put that on a block. That's with the Coastal Cabana color, so we'll just bring that back in. And I'm just going to go, oh, no, there we go. Just a little bit from the end. I can always trim it off and center it up later on. Good, okay. And I need a big block. For my happy. Now, this is a brand new stamp set. I don't know if I can show this to you or not. Maybe if I do it this way. See how the P all went spotty? The ink all almost disappeared on it after I got it all inked up. That's because sometimes there's a residue on brand new photopolymer stamp sets just because of the way they're manufactured. And that's exactly what's happening. All my ink is all pooling up into little like water droplets. And so you just have to scrub your stamp. That's all you can do. Just scrub it on your wet chamois. And that will remove that residue from it. Dry it off on my pad. And now, when I pick up the ink, much better. It's not all pooling up in the middle. And I'm just going to stamp that anywhere in the middle of that piece of paper because we're going to fussy cut that out. Okay, so I'm all done with those. Set those aside. Bring back this. And I think I want my paper underneath just in case I decide to go off the edges with the leaves. I want my black. I'm going to have to clean some blocks off here because I need that block. I think I need the little one for the middles of the flowers. So from the stamp set, I'm going to use this spidery looking thing here and this little one. And we're going to put those in the centers of the flowers. So black, that's doing that blotchy thing. So I'm just going to scrub it off. Much better. And that's just going to go right in the middle of all of my melon mambo flowers. And this is why I wanted my little piece off the edge. Okay, good. That's done. And then this one, I'm just going to bring in an orange color. I've got some pumpkin pie here. Suppose we could have used the melon mambo in the middle too, but whatever you do, whatever is you. This up here for a moment. In the middle of this one. There we go. And that one isn't going to get one. All right. I think my stamping is all done. I've got all my flowers. Oh, leaves. Yes, we were going to do some leaves. So I need maybe this block and this block back. So there's two leaves. There's one that's like a solid shape, and there's one that's kind of an outliney shape. Okay, and I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive. Like I said, you can use just Old Olive or just Pear Pizzazz if that's all you had, and just stamp off. Making a terrible mess here. Okay, so my darker one's on the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up my stamps so I know what goes where. So you could do, I'll show you when I get to the Old Olive one. I'm just going to fill in, let me see, I want to get as many leaves in here as I can, so I'm going to attach this one to this one over here, and I'm going to put this one attached here, this one's going to go here, I'm in my dark one, look, Pay attention, Kevin. This one's going to go off the edge here. Didn't quite press hard enough. There we go. I want one coming in off the bottom edge from a flower that you can't see here. I think I want one going off over there. And maybe one going off over there. Okay, so here and here I made a mistake. I put my leaf down in my old olive, so it's probably just going to have to stay that way. But this is what I meant when I said you could stamp off if you only had one color. So if we only had old olive, I would stamp off once and then stamp so you get it lighter. And then I could take that same old olive and go full strength on my second generation one. It gives me a two-tone stamp. So we will try and see, because I didn't press overly hard. Maybe. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. I caught myself when I put it down. I thought it looked too dark. Now that might dry a lot darker and not be as discernible. We will see. But I like the way there's contrast there with between the old olive and the pear pizzazz. Just gives it a nice bit of definition. Okay, and then these two over here. So this is a little bit of work, but you can see how quickly it goes together, and you could create a full sheet of designer series paper this way in whatever color scheme you wanted to. Just cover it with flowers, and then you've got lots of paper to do your cards with. Okay, so that's all done. Now, get the other pieces out here. In your packet, you have lots of extra floral paper left over. And they're cut in 2x4 inch pieces. If you want to cut a 2¼ inch slice off of any of those papers, we'll just pretend that this is one of them, and put it on your envelope flap, glue it on, and then turn it over and trim with your scissors, you'll have a really nice envelope flap. Or you could stamp, just like we just did here, on your envelope in the same way. Just put a piece of paper down so you can stamp off the edges, and then put another one over top of it to mask it off on the back so you're not stamping on your envelope front. And you could create the same pattern on your envelope flap to match. So just two quick ways to decorate your envelope, and then maybe put one more flower in the corner of your envelope. It's just a nice way to make it a matching set. Okay. The other thing you can do is on the inside of your card, you can put one of your flowers. So then we just have to fold this up and burnish with our bone folder. Make it lay nice and flat. Okay. Then we're going to glue. So you have to find on your keep wanting to call this color, it's not, your Bermuda Bay die cut piece actually has a little inlaid border around it on the front. So find the correct side to be the front, okay? And on the back of it, you're going to glue the Melon Mambo piece. And it's just in the middle like that. And then it just goes on like that. And then you'll have to pick it up and make sure that it's centered and sticking out on both ends. And then I do what I call ironing. I iron it back and forth with my bone folder just to smooth the glue out underneath of it. And I'm just going to set that aside to dry while I prepare these pieces. I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to trim off both ends of the You Make Me just so that they're even. There's no particular measurement to this. I'm just leaving, I don't know, it's a little less than a quarter of an inch. Yeah, a little less than a quarter of an inch from the edge to the word. So that's done. And then comes the fussy cutting. And you go as close as you like to go when you fussy cut. I like to leave a little bit of a white border, but you know, not a whole lot. But I don't want to spend hours cutting either. So if you're bored already, you can fast forward the the video. Okay. Just gonna roughly around the letters here. Christine does this so much better than I do. And she actually fussy cut the letters for the sample card. In record time, I should say too, in the time it took me to do the stamping. She had all the other pieces cut and put together. It's coming. Round the bend. Did she go down into the... Oh, she did. See if I can do like she did and go down into the Y. Whoops, almost cut it right in two. It's starting to get delicate now. Okay, around the final corners here. Voila! Alright, now I need some dimensionals. And so on the back of the You Make Me, we're just going to put, I'm going to put 3 small ones. It's going to go up there like that. So I can stick that on right now. There in the corner. Okay. And then on the back of my happy, there's a couple places there where I can get whole little ones. And then on the ends, I don't know if you can really see that. Let me bring this back in. That'll give us some contrast. On these ends here, and maybe on the ends of my peas, I just want some tiny, tiny, tiny little pieces. So on the edge of your dimensional strips, you can often, especially on the small ones, there's quite a wide strip there that you can cut a piece off of. And then I'm just going to peel the paper off of one side of it so that as I cut these I can stick them right down. I'm just going to cut a little piece there, a little piece there, a little piece there, a little piece there. Just gotta make sure the end of it goes where I want it. Okay, perfect. Now peel off all those bits. And then it just goes on like that. And then we're going to flip that over and I'm going to put some bigger dimensionals on the back now. I'm just going to do one in each corner and one in the middle so that it doesn't sag. And then I'm just going to put it, find a spot. Oh, let's put it right side up. Put it somewhere where it's not going to block too many of my pretty flowers. I guess I'm going to bury that poor yellow one all. But I know he's behind there, and he's beautiful. So that's where it's going to go on this one. It's right there like that. There we go. So there was my sample, and there's the one I just did. And I think I'm really happy with that. So I hope you enjoy this project. You are going to stamp your flowers entirely differently than I stamp my flowers. And you're going to be using maybe even different colors than I did. So I would be very pleased to see when you're finished. If you would like to take a picture of your cards, you will find a Facebook link at the bottom of this page where this video is that will take you over to this specific project on the Craft Day in a Box Facebook page where you can post your picture of your card and share with everybody else. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next project.